Hey there, it's Georgina with Georgina Kylo Therapeutic Yoga, and today we're going to do a calming yoga practice, and this is to work between the shoulders, so opening up and releasing through the shoulders, working with a little bit of shoulder pain and also some mindfulness practice. So this will be very calming, very relaxing, and very gentle as well. So with therapeutic yoga, we want to make sure that we're working at a 50 to 60% effort level, not 110. So we want to take it nice and easy, work with any kind of shoulder pain that's going on, and we're going to start out in fish pose. So this is more of a yin therapeutic practice. But before we get started, see if you can grab a couple of blocks, so they can be foam or they can be the cork ones, but I like the softness of the foam blocks. I have a strap, just a regular yoga strap, and I have my bolster. Okay, so let's get started in fish pose. I'm going to bring the bolster right up to the small of my back. When I come down onto this, I want to make sure that my spine and rib cage is resting on the bolster. I'm going to take a nice deep inhale and exhale, release down onto the bolster. And you can keep your feet bent here, so my feet are resting on the mat, just to kind of get myself into this pose. You're going to feel a nice opening through the collarbones. I'm going to bring my hands down, resting them on the floor. So if you have any kind of achiness with your shoulders, you can bring the floor up to you by placing your blocks underneath your hands. So maybe just even bring them underneath the elbows. So this is able to keep the shoulders from being painful, from being dropped down a little bit too much to the floor. I'm okay here, so I'm going to stay here and take a moment to breathe into this beautiful pose. And because I'm a practitioner of yoga, I'm going to stretch my legs out because this feels okay for me. If you have lower back pain, you can always bring another blanket underneath your bottom or your foam block if you have a foam block. So let's take a moment to check in with our breath. And just take this moment to breathe into the front of the heart. Allow the belly to soften. Allow the forehead to relax. And feel this beautiful opening through not only the front of the body, but also the back body, feeling the weight of the shoulder blades on the bolster. Eyes are gently closed. And just watching the breath. Notice how you naturally inhale. So lots of times I'll say, take a big inhale, but you don't need to take it. As my amazing teacher Karuna from Heart Yoga taught me, we receive the breath. So receive the breath. I'm slowly going to walk those feet back to the rest underneath my knees. I'm going to root down through those feet, lift up into a little bridge, just resetting the lower spine. So this is a great opening for the shoulders, the spine, also very supportive. To come out of this pose, we slowly roll to our right side. Just hanging out here for a moment. And I'm going to remove the bolster from my back. And we're going to come into reclining big toe pose. So you can use your strap here if you want, but you don't need to. You can have your block handy, coming back down onto your back. So coming into constructive rest pose first. Place your right hand on your belly, left hand on your heart. Let's bring in an intention for this practice. One of my favorite mantras is Om Shanti Hum, which means I am peace. I'm going to breathe that in 3 times silently to myself. Om Shanti Hum, I am peace. And I'm going to seal that mantra into my beautiful yogi heart by placing right hand over top of left into that self-care mudra. Good. From here, placing both hands down on the floor, I'm going to lift that right foot up towards the sky, heel reaching towards the sky. Both hips are even here, and I'm going to clasp behind the thigh muscle here. I'm going to point the toes, do a few ankle rolls here. One way and then the other way, point and flex. And then I like to leave my heel towards the sky. I'm working into this back hamstring here. I'm also making sure that I'm not going to go to that full flexibility of bringing that leg all the way down to my body. I'm going to allow myself to gently move into this. You can also use a strap. So you can place the strap over the arch of the foot. Your hands come down so elbows rest on the floor. So noting that it's okay, you can do this without the strap, clasping behind the thigh. You can even come under the calf muscle. And also big fingers or peace fingers can come to the big toe. But I'm taking my time to relax. So if you don't have a yoga belt, you can just use anything that you have there, even a towel. 3 more breaths here. Good. I'm going to take this strap, release it down to the floor. And now lifting up into baby bridge, I'm going to extend both legs out. Let the palms come up and just take a notice, bring in some awareness of the body here. For me, this right hip feels lower. I've been able to stretch out that hamstring. When we stretch out the hamstrings or release the hamstrings, you're going to feel a little bit more mobility in the hip as well. And let's go into the other side. So I'm going to bend both feet again, extending that left foot up, heel towards the sky. So I like to lift up, reset the lower back down onto the ground. So again here you can clasp behind the thigh muscle, calf muscle, or the big toe. I like to start here. As you do this video more, you can always go to those next levels. So again, let's do a few pointing the toes, a few ankle rolls. We can take that strap again, bring it over the arch of the foot. I'm also going to 50 or 60%, not 110%. One more nice breath here. I'm going to bend that knee, release the strap down, bring that foot back down to the mat. Again, reset that lower spine, extend both legs out. Take a moment to feel what's going on in the body here. Okay, start on our right side. So again, we're in fetal pose. We're going to extend the right arm out and left arm on top. Head is resting on your blanket. So you can even build it up so you have a little bit more of a support here. As you take a moment to exhale. As you inhale, you're going to bring this arm up. And exhale over into a twist. Inhale up. And exhale as palms meet. Good, let's do this again. Exhale. Inhale, arm comes up. Coming into that twist. Exhale. Inhale, arm up. And then exhale, the palms come to meet. One more time this side. Inhale. Opening up, arm sweeps back, back of the palm comes down, back of hand comes to the other side, head moves with the palm, exhaling. And inhale all the way over to the other side. Good, let's come over to the other side. Come back to constructive rest pose. Stay here for a moment, root down through the feet. We're going to come over to the other side. So knees coming over to the left. I'm going to come over to that side. Extend this left arm out. Right palm comes over top of left. Exhaling. Inhale, arm up. And exhale, rotate and open into that twist. So you notice my gaze follows my hand. Inhale up. Exhale, palms come back to meet. Good, 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale, opening up. Inhale up. And exhale, palms come to meet. 2 more on your own here. Good, slowly come back into constructive rest pose. So constructive rest pose we've done already. Feet are planted on the earth. The knees are about hip width apart. Allow the hands to come down. Rest here, just noticing how the body feels. Good, let's roll to our right side. Take a moment to come up to seated. So planting that left hand down, we come up with our heart lifting first and come all the way up to seated. Good. Feel as if the crown of the head, tips or ears are reaching for the sky. Lower your hands down to your palms down to your knees. Coming into seated cat-cow. So this is also wonderful for stretching the shoulders, the hips, the muscles around the spine. So as we inhale, we're going to allow the head to come back, opening through the collarbones. As you exhale, you round, tuck belly button towards the spine. Chin comes down towards the heart. The back body is rounding. Inhale, open, arch the back. Gaze towards the sky. Exhale, rounding shoulders forward. belly button kisses the spine, chin towards heart. Good, one more time here. Nice smooth flow with your breath. Very simple. So sometimes you can do these on hands and knees, but you can do this sitting in a chair, maybe if you're even on an airplane flying somewhere. Very simple to do, and you can do it very subtle. So you'll notice here, I can bring my chin down towards my heart, round my shoulders slightly, and then inhale, open. So very subtle. Rounding and opening. So I'm still gathering that belly button towards the spine and still getting some movement through the shoulders. So allowing the right ear to come to right shoulder. To increase the stretch a little bit more, bringing those left fingertips down to the ground. So you can even see this in a yin type practice as graceful bow. When I turn my chin towards my knee, I'm feeling more of the sensation in the back of the neck. So this is where I get a lot of tension. And we do get this tension from being on laptops, from being on cell phones. Bring the head back up to center, over to the other side. Left ear comes to left shoulder, starting here. And you can always sit up on a blanket or a bolster if you find sitting a little bit more intense. You can also stretch your legs out. Bringing those right fingertips down, bringing more of a stretch into this whole right side of my neck. And then dropping chin towards my heart or looking towards the left knee. Three breaths here. Good, and then slowly bringing the head back up to center. So let's come into broken wing pose. We're going to take this left hand, bring the left back side of the hand to the lower back, and then allow yourself to just bring the shoulder forward. So we're working into not only the front of the shoulder, but we're also getting into the back of the neck here. So this left hand is on the lower back, the palm is facing away from me. You can also see if you can bring your hand down lower to bring the shoulder forward. And I'm going to gently tilt my head to the right. So nice stretch here, nice sensation of getting into the neck and the shoulders. So this is our focus, is neck and shoulders, bringing in some releasing and also strength. Good, release the head back to center. Let's bring the arms out wide, do a few arm hugs here. So I'm allowing right hand to come over top and then right hand over bottom. Good, so let's come to the other side. We're going to take this right hand, bring the back of the hand to the small of the back. Taking the left hand over top, bringing it the shoulder towards me, or even coming down lower. So down a little bit, maybe down onto the bicep. And then dropping that head towards the left, so left ear to left shoulder. So 3 to 5 breaths here. One more inhale and exhale. Exhale through the mouth. Good, let's release the arms wide again. Do a few arm hugs. And let's come back into the hands. Bring the palms down to the mat. Fingers face towards you. Let's do a few windshield wipers. So letting the knees drop over to the right and then over to the left. Just allowing the body to move here. Stretch those legs out. Good. And we'll come over to hands and knees. So this is cat-cow pose on forearms. So traditionally we can do cat-cow here. So my tops of my feet are on the mat. You can also tuck your toes. So your choice here. I broke my toe this year, so I'm not tucking my toes. My toe's still quite painful. I like to bring a little bit of a bend into my elbows just because I tend to overextend a bit, and I find this feels better for me. It brings more strength. So we'll start with traditional cat-cows. We allow the gaze to come up. I'm looking at all my beautiful yarn here. And then as I exhale, I tuck my tailbone to come towards me. My chin goes towards my heart. I look towards belly button. And then releasing and arching the back. So this is cat-cow, the same as we did seated, but on hands and knees. To get more into the shoulders and the neck, you can bring your elbows down to the ground. So elbows are stacked underneath my shoulder blades. I'm going to maybe move my knees back a little bit behind my hips. I'm going to tuck that belly button, keeping belly button strong. As I arch, you'll notice I cannot arch my neck too high. But you'll also notice when I round, I'm really getting into the shoulders and the neck. Inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. Press into the elbows. So this feels really good on the cervical part of my spine. I'm also getting into the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades. And I'm going to just do a couple more here. So you can always stay here, stop the video, and do more of these if these feel really good for you. Last one. And I'm going to release into child's pose. For me, I like to bring my thumbs to meet, elbows wide, widening the knees. I like to rock my forehead back and forth on the mat. Now let's stay here for 5 breaths. Breathing into the back of the lungs. Good, pressing my palms down into the earth and coming up to hands and knees. Let's come to easy pose. Just press your hands down into the femur bones and take a few breaths. Allow the shoulders to relax. Good. So we're going to come up to standing. Hands and knees. We came up to standing. So we're now standing in our Tadasana. So I love to go through Tadasana pose with so many people because it's such a beautiful, strong pose. So taking a look at your feet first of all, making the feet a little bit more relaxed, maybe picking up the toes, widening the toes down onto the ground. Soften the knees. Feel the belly coming in and kissing the spine. Relax those shoulders back. You can stay here and imagine as you close your eyes that you're being lifted through the tips of the ears. Just begin to feel the body lengthening. Feel the spine creating space between each vertebra. Relax those shoulders. Good, and open the eyes. So I'm going to extend that left arm out. My hand is nice and wide. I'm going to bring the right arm over and bring the right hand to twist towards the left. Seeing if I can keep both feet equal. Inhale, open. Exhale, left palm comes to right. Good. Inhale, open. Right hand to left. Again, left palm comes over to right. Nice opening through the arms. Let's do a few arm hugs here. So we're working in between the shoulder blades. Come back to Tadasana. From Tadasana, we will bring in palm tree pose. So you may not be able to see my hands here, but what I'm doing is I'm bringing the palms out away from me and then extending the hands up above my head. So if I'm having shoulder pain, I'm going to keep those hands, the arms bent, and allow my tops of my hands to rest on top of my head. I do have a little bit of a cranky shoulder, so I'm allowing that to be as open as I'm going to be. From here, I'm going to clasp behind my head. So you'll see here, I'm just clasping behind the head. I come to show you the back. And then I'm going to come over to the right. So again, we're working into a nice side body stretch. So lateral stretch over to the right. So this may look like your left on your video. I'm going to check back in with my feet. I want to keep my feet about hip width apart. So not as wide as my hips, but the hip flexors. Good, come all the way back up. Let's take our arms up. Inhale, exhale, come forward. I'm going to slowly roll up. Bring my arms nice and wide. Hands come to meet at the top and bring them back down to your heart center. Good. So let's do this again on the other side. We're going to clasp our hands, bring palms out into palm tree. So you can bring your arms up as high as you want on palm tree. Again, I am taking the time to just soften my hands because my one left shoulder blade, my shoulder rotator cuff is damaged. So I'm taking time to take care of the shoulders. From here, bring the palms around the back of the head. And I like to just press my head into my palms. Good. From here, I'm coming over to the left. Pressing head into palms, palms into head. And then slowly seeing if I can get more of a side body lateral stretch here. I'm also feeling this into the back of the shoulder blades. Good, come all the way back up. Release the hands, sweep them up, inhale up. Exhale down into forward fold. Palms to your shins. Exhale, release. And then slowly inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale your hands down to your heart center. From here, I'm going to walk to my mat because I needed a little bit more room to show you what I was doing. I'm going to turn towards the front of my mat. I'm going to inhale up. Exhale, come down. Hands come to the floor. I'm going to walk my hands out into a quick down dog. And then release my knees down to the floor. Good, so hands are down on the floor. Coming into a few cat-cows here. And from here, I'm going to release into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, also a wonderful pose for your shoulders. If you feel that this is too much, you can walk the elbows more forward. Close your eyes. Feel the pubic bone rooting down to the earth. tops of feet are rooting down, and I'm pressing into the elbows. So I'm not sinking, but pressing the elbows away from me. So the elbows are into the mat, grounding me down. My hands are nice and wide. I'm going to take 3 breaths here. Forehead on top of stacked hands. Now that we've had a little rest, let's come back into our Sphinx pose. So placing elbows on top of mat. Mine are a little bit more forward, just because I'm really focusing on being gentle with my shoulders right now. We're coming into Sphinx crocodile pose. So from here, we're going to bring that right knee forward and just allow this foot to remain active. So you can stay here if you wish, or we can come down and really relax into this pose. My left ear comes down to the mat. And this is a nice gentle hip opener. 3 more breaths. Bring my forehead back down to the hands. I'm going to release that foot behind me. Lift the heels up towards the sky. Do some reversed windshield wipers here. And let's come to Sphinx crocodile on the other side. Bringing elbows on in front of the chest slightly, or if you wish to have more of a nice bend in the lower back, if your back is healthy and not cranky, you can definitely come into more of a full Sphinx pose. Draw my left knee towards my hip, so bringing that left knee towards the hip, feeling a nice opening through the left hip flexor. I'm just going to adjust myself here, keeping that the back foot active, and then slowly releasing myself down. Allowing myself to bring the right ear to the stacked hands and breathing here. So 5 breaths. Good. Slowly bringing the forehead to stacked hands and coming up into that Sphinx. I'm going to release that foot behind me, just staying here for a couple more breaths, feeling that nice arch to the back body. So we're really strengthening the muscles around the spine. So we're getting into the multifidus muscles. We're bringing that belly button in towards the spine, so getting into that transverse muscle, those deep muscles. Good. And then let's lower down and slowly roll over onto your back. So option here to come into that breathing twist flow we did at the beginning of the class, or allowing yourself to really just absorb into the twist, which is what I like to do. I'm going to bring the hands down, maybe even bring them, let's try bringing them into our cactus arm or goalie post. Bring the knees into the chest and allow those knees to drop over to the left. Completing this twist, I'm looking over my left and extending that palm out, looking over the left palm. Good. I'm going to inhale those knees back up. Bring my hands on top of knees. Let's do a few hip circles here. Just a nice way to warm up those hips, bring a little bit of lubrication into the joints. I'm going to bring those arms back over, and I'm using my muscles here, my abdominal muscles, to slowly allow the knees to drop over to the left. The back shoulder blades are staying on the mat, and I turn my gaze over the right palm. You can see here for 3 to 5 breaths. So supine twist. 2 more breaths. Bring head back to center. I'm going to bring those knees back up towards the sky. Let's extend those feet up. Just do a little bit of a waterfall, a little bit of an inversion here. Let's extend our legs out, coming into our most important pose, which is Shavasana, where we absorb the practice. So notice the whole body resting on the mat. Your arms can come down just gently on either side of the body, palms facing up. Roll your head from side to side. And then coming to rest here, you can always cover yourself in a blanket. You can listen to some music. But it's also nice just to have this time of quietness to reflect. Feel the forehead relaxed. Relax the jaw. Notice the support of your heart being supported on this beautiful earth. Belly is soft, hips are relaxed. We bring this awareness down the tops of the thighs to the knees, shins, top of feet. Bring breath down into the soles of the feet. And feel that whole back body being supported by the earth. And the earth and your back body support the front body as you melt down into Shavasana. Staying here as long as you wish. We do recommend a 10-minute Shavasana, but at least try to do a minimum of 5 minutes. And when you're ready to come out of Shavasana, we roll to our right side. Using your hand to support you to come up to seated. Coming to seated at the center of your mat, bringing your hands into Anjali Mudra. I always like to recommend a little bit of time for reflection here, bringing in time of gratitude, of thankfulness for this beautiful life we have, even though we go through times of challenge. Knowing that in yoga, we don't always have to let go of everything. We can intentionally let go of things when we're ready. I bring my heart and mind closer together with much gratitude from my yogi heart to your beautiful yogi hearts. Namaste. So thank you, Caroline, for doing this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can email me at hello@georginakailoyoga.com or georginakailo@gmail.com. This was a nice practice for you where we wanted to work into the shoulders, working on posture. So you'll see that I do bring in a lot of cues where we are lengthening the spine and also bringing in awareness to the breath for that calming aspect of your practice. So thank you for being my very first customer, my very first yogi to experience this with me. I know it took me a while to get it all together, but I do appreciate your patience, and I hope you enjoy this practice. And from my heart to your heart, much gratitude.